All right, welcome to our second week of Slot Talk Tuesdays with Joseph. And last week got a lot of engagement on our page, so I was really loving all the comments. And I tried to comment on as many as I can, and I'll look at a few more tonight and type in some fun comments. So if you haven't joined us before, we are doing what we call Slot Talk Tuesdays with Joseph. Not every Tuesday, but most Tuesdays, depending if it's a holiday or whatever. So we're trying to bring up and talk about as many topics as we can that involves gambling and the casino and casino people and influencers and all that kind of stuff. So this week we're going to be talking about tipping. And of course, tipping isn't just at the casinos, but we're going to be mainly focusing on tipping at the casinos. So stay tuned. I brought Josh back for this segment on tipping, mainly because no one else wanted to be here because it's a holiday season. No, that's not true. He actually did want to come in and talk about tipping. He had brought it up last week, so I said, well, you might as well come back this week. And then next week, I think we'll have a fun featured guest. So, all right, let's bring Josh in. All right, well, welcome back to Slot Talk Tuesdays with Joseph.
He brought me back after all.
Aren't you
nice?
Because you wanted to talk about tipping, and it was number 2 on my list of things that I think we have to discuss about the casinos.
Okay.
So let's start with...
Hold on, you have a little piece of hair floating around. It's going to bother me the whole time.
I did shave. Actually, they've been working on our water outside on Iberville for all day. So I finally got to shower and shave about an hour ago, and it's
Me too.
4 o'clock.
Did you see what I looked like when I got home?
No, I don't. I try not to look at you as much as possible.
I didn't get the shower this morning or shave, and my hair was all messed. I look terrible.
Do what I do. Put a hat on. That's why I wear a hat all the time.
Anyway. What are we talking about?
We're talking about tipping at the casino, and there's a lot of
unknowns.
There's a lot that goes on with tipping.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's start with an average trip that you and I take to Vegas.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So. How do we begin this? We begin this with car service, right?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, basically you're talking about like your budget for your tipping.
Across the board for Vegas.
That's important.
And how it's really gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many more people's hands are in that tipping pot where they didn't used to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you choose to have car service, we usually always have car service, and it's going to sound snooty, but I'll tell you why. It's because we always take the first flight out in the morning, and there's a reason for that too, because the first flight's either not there or it's always on time. So the night before, if you're the first flight out in the morning, if it's there waiting for you. The plane's there.
I can't remember a time that we've been the first flight out that we haven't made our flight. So we always catch the first flight. So when we get up at 3 o'clock, 3:30?
3:30, it's stupid. After 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, because he's usually up filming.
Editing.
I don't have the brain function to figure out where to park, where I put my car, and then you have to drag all your luggage onto a shuttle, and then the shuttle has to take you there, and then you got to tip the shuttle person there and back, and then you got to pay for parking. It's easier for me to pay a flat fee and just deliver me to the door, pick me up from the door.
Like a king or a queen should be.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I am very, very frugal. I am cheap. And I think a lot of gamblers are cheap because they're saving that dollar for the casino.
You splurge on things that matter to you, though, just like anybody else.
Yeah, I do, but like I don't eat out. We live in the French Quarter, and I rarely go to
any of these fine restaurants.
And people come here all over the world to eat here. So a lot of gamblers are cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of gamblers are cheap. I mean, you'll be sitting with...
Well, you'd rather put, $100 in a slot machine than, I don't know, even buy something for yourself. A lot of people just want to go spend money in a slot machine with the hope of winning big. But when it comes to tipping, though, I think you're talking about like when you... for car service or like Uber, most people choose or go that route. I would say if you're having car service... And, if you go to Las Vegas, it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes most to get to your hotel. $20, $25 is custom.
Same with going to the airport. I usually tip $20.
Yeah. And Uber, I'd probably tip a little less.
Only because Uber has gotten so expensive.
Usually I do a minimum of $5 to $10 for Uber.
Unless I absolutely don't like them.
Yeah.
And then I just don't say anything and just keep going. I'm not the person who gives a bad review. I just won't say anything and just, unless it's really awful. And then I'm
going to take notes of how much money I'm spending in tips.
Okay.
I'm getting a pen and paper.
And speaking of, cheap gamblers, we once ate at a steakhouse with someone who left $1 for a tip. $1
at a steakhouse with a lobster meal.
Shocked, honey. She used this person used all of their comps and left $1 on the table. I will never have dinner with them ever again.
And she enjoyed her food, and she had the little doggy bag. All right, so $20 to $30 is what I'm putting for car service.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so we've made it to the airport.
Notice how we didn't use the name. Very mindful.
Very mindful. So we've made it. Now we're at the airport, right? Choose to check your luggage outside, or you choose to go wait in that line yourself, or does it depend on the time of day?
We're talking about just going to the airport, not landing.
We haven't even gotten there yet, and we've already spent money, right?
God dang, this is expensive. All right, $40 to $60.
No.
Well, no. I'm talking about the car service too is $20, and then from the car service from the airport to the hotel, that's going to be $60. Okay, so $40 to $60.
So I always tip at least $1 per bag if I'm using an outside SkyCap to check my luggage.
Oh, sure.
If it's both of us, just give them a $5.
Yeah, so it's $5 and tip. Okay.
That makes a difference whether or not your luggage gets on that plane or whether or not your luggage gets lost. I swear it does. I swear.
So this is luggage check-in, $5.
Now, if you follow TikTok like I do, the new thing is tipping flight attendants. What's your opinion on that before I
love my flight attendants.
Start in on it.
That's my opinion. I love my flight attendants. But when the hell? I have never tipped a flight attendant. Ever.
And
it's never even crossed my mind.
And it's considered tacky to tip them cash. So you have to go at the airport. If you drink coffee, I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. So you have to go wait in Starbucks. You have to get them a $10 or $20 Starbucks. I
like how you're saying you have
card.
to.
Yes, that's what they want. They tell you, a Starbucks gift card would be awesome.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the flight attendants are
cash is tacky.
Is it tacky, or are they not able to accept cash?
Some of them aren't. But they're able to accept it. Depends on the airline. If you watch TikTok, that's a big thing on there right now. So now I have to add an extra time to me traveling to the airport to stop at Starbucks and get the flight attendant a Starbucks gift card.
That's on you. I'm not. So I'm going to keep that at 0.
So we have many times left a property with so much comps that we just go and get stuff to go, like cookies and stuff like that. We've given those big brownies to flight attendants. But what is your opinion on tipping the flight attendant? Do we have to?
Have you done that? Is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
Are you a flight attendant? And talk to us about.
I love you, flight attendants.
We love our flight attendants. I mean, let me say something.
I might have to fit you into my budget.
When you get in on the plane, say hello to your flight attendants. How you doing today? Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Because they have some good gossip. You want to be in on that gossip.
Don't be that horrible person that's just grouchy all the time. It don't take anything to say hello to someone.
Yeah, and that's just us being from the South. Nice.
Yeah, and we're from the South. So, so if we tip the flight attendants, do we have to tip the captains?
I think I don't know. After that one Southwest airline captain went viral for all the hate that he said.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no. But thank you for getting us to our destination safely on your salary. I hope it's a good salary. I don't know how much pilots make.
And
all they do is press a button, though. Autopilot.
So on TikTok, their reasoning is they don't make enough money.
What?
The flight attendants don't make enough money. That's their reasoning. But teachers don't make enough money at all.
I have to talk to my brother. He's a flight attendant. You know what? I'm going to ask him to see if he's ever had a gift card.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, teachers don't make a lot of money.
What's that candle that you came up with? You're not quite worth the trouble of a what?
I It had to come to me.
Okay.
A candle we sell at the shop. You're not quite worth the trouble of a gift card, so here's a candle.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody stops at Walgreens to buy a candle for somebody on their way to their party. Don't do that.
And you can't give them candles because it's in the sky.
Yeah, you can't give them candles.
Catch a fire.
So that's my thing on the flight attendants.
Wow.
I love a lot of them. I mean, I really do.
Let me just say, we're close to I'm $50 already,
and we haven't even left New Orleans.
Okay. All right. Who else are we?
So now we've arrived at the hotel.
But not yet, because then you have to take the car service from the airport to the hotel.
So now we're back in another car. We've made it to Las Vegas in that 7-minute trip it takes to get to whatever hotel you're staying at. We're lucky. Our hosts will usually send a car service that we don't have to pay for.
We don't have to pay for it.
Well, we pay for it. We pay for it.
Yeah, you pay for it.
But we don't have to actually pay for it. So if you're not paying for it, I think the tip should be a little bit more. $25, I think, is good. I think that's a fair price. Unless they pick you up one of them red Rolls Royce, and then maybe you give them a little bit more. But they've never picked me up.
I think everybody should be tipping their car service for sure. I mean, who wants to work in a car or on wheels? No, thank you. Traffic and lights? No, thank you.
So on to
checking at the desk. I know that's one thing that you and I will typically do.
So let's so we've now arrived, and the doorman comes out. He takes your luggage.
Oh God, the doorman. Mm-hmm. It's all adding up. Okay, yes, we always tip.
Doorman unlocks your door. The doorman is in charge of taking your luggage, not the bellman at this point. I was a doorman, a bellman, and a valet, so I'll tell you, I understand it. So the doorman takes your 4 or 5 pieces of luggage. He brings them inside, and that's when you tip him again. I always tip $2 to $5.
So they take your luggage first.
Yes, unless you say I got it myself.
Yeah,
which we do that a lot.
Sure, I'm sure a lot of people do.
It depends on how many days we're staying in Vegas.
Because I think they know about this tip. So yeah, you don't tip them until you get your luggage inside, right?
Yeah, when they bring it to the hotel desk and says, Mr. So-and-so is checking in unless you're at the Motel 6, and then they just throw it in the parking lot.
And we're going with $5 there.
$1 per luggage.
Okay.
Has been the standard for 40 years.
Okay.
So, okay.
Now we're at the desk.
Now we are at the desk. And this is another big controversy because people give the desk agent money before they start the transaction, hoping that they're going to get a room upgrade. And a lot of channels have covered this. Slip them a 20 and they'll give you a room upgrade.
I even talked about it in a recent video when we went to Planet Hollywood. We did that.
Yes.
And we ended up scoring backstage tickets to the J-Lo concert.
Plus we were nice.
But that's what I
remember she said we were like the only nice people that whole day.
Yeah, yeah.
So the first thing I would say is walk up to the desk. How y'all doing? Y'all having a great day? Yes. I'm glad to be here. I don't tip them the $20 or $30 for an upgrade. That's just not what I do. I usually wait till halfway through after they've chosen the room, and then I slip it to them. And then if they want to go back in and change it, but I don't go, here's $20. I want an upgrade.
Give me an upgrade or something like that.
So I kind of do it on the sly, or I do it at the end.
I want to know from the desk agents out there watching.
Yeah.
Like, how do you handle that? How do you handle tips? Like, does a tip usually help you upgrade a room or get someone near or further away from an elevator or whatever it might be that they want? Does a tip generally help, or is it just like, thank you for the lunch money?
I was a desk agent. I didn't make any money. I think I made back in '89. I think I was making $3.75 an hour. So luckily I worked.
Some people still make that today.
Luckily I worked at the Warwick Hotel, and it was awesome because they tipped the hell out of me. So
all right. So the desk agent, we're tipping $20.
I always tip the desk agent $20. Even at Kashada, I give him $20.
Okay.
I don't care. I just.
Again, that's 30 seconds in the slot machine.
Well, and the room is free for us because we're comped, and most of you watching are going to be. Most of y'all have comps, so the room already isn't costing you anything. And until a lot of the resorts, and they are going to start making you pay for the fees, they're not going to be included in your comps. Some of the resorts are starting that next year. So you may check into a free room, but yet you're now got to pay the taxes on that comp and the resort fee. So you can get charged up, $100 and something a day now. It's getting crazy. So I think that's going to be a big push on people.
Well, I'm sure is that nationwide, or are you talking about more Vegas?
That's more Vegas. I think it's going to be
Vegas is suffering.
Yeah. Well, so the Strip has been down 4 months in a row on gambling revenue. The downtown is up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these fees are what's people are saying why they're staying away.
Well, it's deterrent.
$40 for valet parking when you're a players club. That's ridiculous. Yeah, most of them just went up. Okay, so we're in the room now. Finally, we've made it to the room. How much have we spent so far?
Well, $75.
$75 just before we even push one button.
70.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
So the first thing I do when I enter a room is what?
Open up the blinds, turn the air on.
Hello.
Room service. Oh, he orders extra pillows.
And hangers.
Oh, yes. Okay.
When I fly to Vegas, I don't bring my own pillows because we normally stay at one or two, three good hotels. But everywhere else we go gamble, I always bring our pillows because I don't know who's been sleeping on those pillows from the night before. Mm-hmm. And all they do is take that pillowcase off and put that pillow right back on. And whoever slobbered on that pillow the night before, it's still there. I ain't laying on that.
All right, so you have $5 going to that service whenever they drop off the hangers, pillows. Okay. And now you're ready to go hit the slot machine.
Now we're ready to go.
It's day 17 in the 25 Days of Winning giveaway, and there's still some great prizes to win. Just a reminder, the entry period ended on December 15th. Congratulations, fly fishing made easy. You are today's winner. Now let's spin the prize wheel to see what you've won. It's either going to be a Slotaholic swag bag or this Amazon $25 gift card. It looks like you have some extra holiday shopping money just in time. So congratulations, and tune in tomorrow to find out who our next winner will be. And now you're ready to go hit the slot machine.
Now we're ready to go.
Me, the bar, going right to the bar. And then machines. I got to get my sip in before I spin and win. And so let's talk about
me
going to the bar. Usually I'll always tip $5 for a cocktail.
Let's talk about cocktail tipping.
Okay.
Because you're a cocktail person.
Yes. All right. So generally, if I'm ordering from a machine, I'll tip. I always say I tip usually what I'm betting. So if I'm betting $2 or $3 to spin, that's what I'll give to the server. Of course, if I'm betting $10 to spin,
you ain't getting $10.
No, because that $10 is very fleeting. I don't really spend time on a machine betting $10. Yeah, I'm going back to my average $2 to $3 bets. And occasionally, if I have like really good service, like in the high limits room at Resorts World, I'm forgetting her name right now, but she's so awesome. She's been there for a long time, but I featured her in the channel. But I'll always give her $5 because she's just a light.
And when you win a jackpot, because I don't drink, I would normally tip the servers that come and at least ask me.
Okay, yeah. Even if you're not ordering, you give them something because you...
Yeah, because they come up to me and ask me, and because I'm usually going to the drink stations myself.
Okay.
I usually just go to the drink stations myself. Yeah. Water or a bottle of water they have ices or whatever.
Yeah. So always for me, no less than $2 or $3 per drink from the machine. If I go to the bar, it's always $5. Because usually when you go to the bar, you're getting like a crafted drink. You're getting something that they're putting time and energy into, like they're shaking, stirring, and you're having a one-on-one conversation.
And we spoke to a couple of... I should turn my phone off.
Be professional.
So we spoke to a couple of servers, beverage servers at the casino this weekend, and they said the standard tip is $1. They appreciate $1.
They told you that? They told you $1?
Standard tip is $1. Anything better than that, they love.
And just to interject real quick, we do know that a celebrity has tipped a quarter. I'm not saying who it is.
Don't say who it is.
I'm nice, but don't give a quarter.
And you don't know why the reason for that was.
Everybody I know said that person.
Let me tell you
something.
Some older people, a quarter's a lot of money.
Not when you're in the high limits room getting Handpays every 5 minutes.
Okay. So here's the thing that I'm going to be honest with you guys about. If you're not tipping your servers, you're not going to get service. They're going to ignore you. You're going to be the guy in the casino going, hey, with their back running as fast from you as they possibly can, because they're going to go wait on people that are going to tip them. Is that right or is that wrong? It's their job, and their job is to make as much money as they can, and I don't blame them for it. So if you're the one ordering free drinks and you are not tipping your server, shame on you. You should be tipping at least $1.
Yeah.
If you can sit here in this casino and gamble, you should be at least tip $1. Tip $1 for soft drinks, tip $1 for water, tip $1 for just a standard drink. You know, if you're with a group of people, 4 or 5 of y'all are ordering, all y'all throw down some money on that tray.
Yeah.
You know, everybody should be tipping. The drinks are free. If you're in a place where the drinks aren't free, do you have to tip as much? I don't know, because
now let's kind of play devil's advocate on that, because even sometimes, like, we'll have to wait 15, 20 minutes to see a cocktail server sometimes. And you're like, what is taking so long?
That's a casino problem.
Now, we always, for whatever, no, regardless, I always tip, even though it's been 15, 20 minutes. If you've spent if you spent more than you should have in the machine, shame, that's on you. That's not on them. They might have had, like, their computers might have gone down, or there's something happening.
It could be a breakdown of a whole different reasons. One, that for me, they always forget me. I don't know why. And they'll say, oh my God, I forgot all about you. I'm sorry. And after they do that 2 or 3 times, I just take the drink. And I'm like, well, I forgot to tip you.
But if you're not an established player, I want to just do a little devil's advocate. If you're not an established player and you don't have a rapport with these servers, and 30 minutes has gone by and you didn't get your drink finally arrived, now would you still tip?
Probably.
See, I think
it depends on how busy they are. If the server are just slammed, it's not their problem. That's bad casino management. And we know properties that want to save money that will have one person running that floor, the whole casino floor sometimes. And that's, we have it close to our house sometimes. There'll be one person running the whole casino floor. And it's not fair to them, because at the end of the day, it does hurt their tips, because people think they're just ignoring them. So they end up getting less tips for doing more work,
Sure.
Should you tip more if you're ordering an expensive alcoholic drink? Now, I did ask that to 2 or 3 people.
Oh, should it matter if you're getting alcohol or?
Yeah, they said it shouldn't, because they're going to the bar getting the same drinks. All they got to do is bring it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, because that's something that you did ask me before. It's like, why do we always tip more? Why do you tip more for alcoholic drinks than you do for a fountain drink? It's like, I never thought about that. I just thought there was just more reason to tip them because it's alcoholic beverage over a fountain drink.
There's 2 people in the casino you need to make friends with: the drink servers
and security.
Security, who cares about them? And the slot attendants. The slot attendants and the drink servers. The slot attendants are going to be quick to bring you change and bring your money. You always want to be nice to them.
Your bartenders and servers and slot attendants.
Yeah. You want to be nice to them, because if you're drinking, or if you're drinking water or whatever, be nice to them.
Okay. So, for my tipping for servers and beverages, would you think $100 is my budget?
Probably. We probably spend $100
so 20
for 3 or 4 days. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put $100 for my budget for tipping.
I lost my train of thought on that part. Was okay to come back to me. Okay, so now we're gonna go upstairs and take a break.
Okay.
And we're gonna order some room service.
Oh, depends on what's on that menu.
It's no matter what hotel you stay at, it's always pasta and chicken nuggets for some reason. That seems to be what they all serve.
I usually get the club sandwich.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna tell you. What's up with the room service attendant's death stare when you're filling out the tip, because they've already charged you 18%. They've already charged you a delivery fee. So you've already paid the 18% gratuity on the top. Some of them are 22% now, by the way. So some are 18, some are 22%, plus the delivery fee. So now I've got now I'm at this now I've spent $978,684 on pasta, a club sandwich, and some chicken nuggets with some cold fries. With gratuity
already included.
Yeah. So, do you take all the cutlery when you leave?
Dishes. Take some sous vide.
I've taken a dish before because it was just this fantastic little dish that I had to have in my collection. But
he says a dish.
Just once. Well, so I don't understand the death stare these people give you. They're like, are you not going to they're looking at you like,
well, don't look at them.
Are you not going to? I'm usually in my boxers going, I'm sorry. But
don't look at them. Just sign it and go.
I feel guilty, and I
you know what? I will tell you this.
I put a couple dollars down, thinking I just tipped these people $40 to bring in.
Yeah, I don't tip on top of the room service thing.
Okay,
I don't tip on top of the gratuity.
What's your opinions on that? Let's talk about room service.
But I will say one time I went to I think it was last July, not 2024 but 23. I went to Vegas by myself or something. Oh, it was when I had to do the jackpot party. Dancing Drums Prosperity thing. And I stayed at Resorts World at the Crockford.
Okay, which is our best.
And I ordered room service because I had resort credit. And the guy seats me, and then he puts the towel on my lap. And then he's cutting, or he's presenting all the food to me. I'm like, whoa, this is fantastic.
That was a little extra. He wanted extra.
And that's what I'm getting at. I was like, wait, I wasn't prepared
I pay for
all
that
this.
I pay for that extra service. Yes, sir. Come on, let's go. No,
I just but I was like, well, this is very nice. And then, I actually stayed for like 5 minutes and just, the light went out.
You got it?
Yeah.
So, at they tried to do that to me, and I was like, no, I just leave it and go.
Yeah.
Get away from me.
No.
Can we serve you your food in your bathtub?
To be honest, no. I think I did actually tip him more on that receipt. I don't remember.
He played you.
But he deserved it because he was really nice. We had a good 5-10 minute conversation. It got a little weird because, I know he didn't want to do nothing, but it was just like, when are you going to go so I can eat?
Yeah. Can you dip my nuggets for me, sir, and feed them to me? How much does that cost me?
So I'm gonna say room service. I'm not gonna go beyond $20 on gratuity.
Where did all the buffets go?
Yeah, look, I'm not a buffet person.
Where did all the buffets go?
I don't care. I'm tired of people's behavior at buffets. Okay, it's so disgusting. So I don't care. So this is on you.
COVID killed the buffet. Yeah. We all know that. The casinos were looking for a reason to get rid of the buffets for 20 years because it cost them money. Yeah. But does it really cost them money? Because that free buffet used to cost me $500. Every time we'd walk down to Caesars, every Tuesday and Thursday night for that free buffet, it would cost us $200, $300, $400, $500.
But there's times when people go to the buffet without playing. And so they go to the casino to get their comp buffet and go home.
Yeah, but those comps run out when you don't play. Those casinos got that AI has got the comps down to a science. They know when you're not playing, and that next month you ain't getting nothing. You open that mailer and it says surprise,
$5 off.
Yeah. So there's still a lot of casinos that do have the buffets, and the lines are out the door. I mean, remember we tried to go to the one was it Wynn?
Yes. No, it was at Venetian.
Venetian, Wynn, Caesars.
Yeah.
But you're paying $100 per person now for the buffet.
Some buffets are really great. The Bacchanal one, I'm sure the Venetian one was very good, but we never got to try it.
I could get to it.
Remember that Monte Carlo one, like
that
2006,
one was really
7, 8?
Good, and it was cheap.
It's delicious.
It's like $20.
But I can't buffet anymore. Sorry, I've just seen too many people lick their fingers, eat the food from the tray, put the tongs back in the food, blowing their nose. Whatever.
I'd always walk up to the buffet with a napkin and grab the tongs, and people look at me like I'm crazy. But then I would washy. But that's what we're not talking. We're not talking about that today.
I know.
We're talking about tipping at the buffet. If you are one of those people that leave $1 after you go to a buffet, shame on you. Because let me tell you something about those buffet servers.
Ooh, they work hard.
They're going to clear 18 plates that you've eaten, 4 cups of coffee. You've dropped your spoon at least 6 times. They've got to bring the spoon. Where'd my knife go? You don't know where the knife is. They got to bring you butter. Then they're going to bring you I mean, they work 10 times harder than just a regular waiters at just.
And that's one table.
Yeah, one table.
Yeah,
and
imagine
everybody's gonna leave them $1. I mean,
no, thank you.
You leave 20 to 25% of the total table check. So if it's $100 a person and there's 4 of you, you need to be leaving at least $80.
That's a really good tip.
It's 20% these days.
Yeah.
Don't go eat at a buffet if you can't afford to tip. If it's free, and if it's you and your wife,
I'm sure all the waiters out there are like, yeah,
$10 or $15.
Tell him, Joseph.
$10 or $15 is good. But you can't go eat at these fancy restaurants and tip the same amount and not tip the other servers who's working twice as hard. Plus, they have to split it with everyone. Especially in Vegas.
Oh my God.
So that's one thing that I wish the buffets would add a gratuity to. If you're going to do it to room service, because I have watched some waiters get run ragged.
So we're talking about a 3-day trip to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Vegas tipping. I'm keeping tab of how much money I'm spending. I think overall for dining tipping, I'm going to put $200.
Probably. Well, I don't know.
Because we don't do restaurants much.
Unless we're with Diana.
But yeah. Yeah.
Diana picks
up with Diana, we go to the fancy places. Anyway.
And so a lot of tipping has to do with comps. So if I'm already on a comp meal, I'm going to tip more. If I have to pay for it out of my own comps or my own money, then I may tip less unless the service is just really, really good,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here comes the big one that everyone's been talking about.
We're still spending money.
Yes.
Okay.
I walk up to a kiosk. I type in my order. I walk up to a counter. Someone hands it to me. Why am I tipping that person?
We're still talking about food.
Yeah. Why am I tipping a kiosk?
I haven't. I don't tip them.
I mean, why are companies still putting it down there as an option? I don't even think it should be an option.
Yeah.
If you want to keep a little tip jar at your counter.
Yeah, I'd rather that.
So
still, if
we
you order
don't
from
tip
a kiosk, I'm not tipping.
We don't tip fast food people, and it's the same thing, right?
Only if you have good service, like at Whataburger. I mean, you have a good
I'll throw
personality come through. Yeah.
And when you go to the convenience stores inside of the casinos to pick up some water or drinks, when you slide it, it says tip. So now I'm tipping them.
I'm sure that's so minimal. I'm sure they don't get any tips. I'm sure it's just
and
there as an option.
Who gets the tips? Because I'm finding out that a lot of companies keep the tips. Did you know that? That the employees don't get the tips?
Oh, that's hateful.
Yeah, a lot of the companies are keeping the tips to pay for running the credit card machines.
Well, then that's stupid.
Yeah. So when you are tipping in those situations, I would ask the person, do you get to keep this? And they'll be honest with you. A lot of them have told me, no, the company gets them. Then I'm not giving the company any more money. I'm just paying $7 for a bottle of water.
Yeah. So that's a no.
So what's your opinion on tipping at the kiosk? Because Resorts World is famous about having that
the little dining area, the food court, yeah.
Where
you go up to a kiosk, you can order from any one of their little fast food restaurant dining areas. Mm-hmm. And then basically they'll say your name for you to come over to the pickup.
And I love Resorts World. I don't like that. I think that whole thing needs to be completely gutted, and I haven't found any food there that I think
food court, not the Resorts World.
The food court. Yeah, Resorts World's having its own issues.
The food court's okay. I mean, it's just you're paying twice as much as you should for what you get.
And it's not good.
It ain't your flavor profile. That's what it is.
And most of it is closed like Monday through Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah. So they do have that really good restaurant in there that's kind of like a cafe across from the donut breakfast place.
I've enjoyed everything I've eaten there. So
Wally's is good.
Mm-hmm.
We went to another place that was really good, but we're getting off topic. Okay. Yeah. We are moving on to slot attendants. Let's talk about Handpays first.
Well,
my general rule of thumb is $25 per 1,200. At $1,500, I'm tipping $40.
Your brackets.
At $2,000, I'm tipping $50. And anything over $5,000, I'm tipping $100 to them.
Yes.
I recently discovered that the slot attendant who comes and pays you out and the other person that's considered security. That's part of the security team. Did you know they separate those tips? Mm-hmm. They don't split that money. If you give it to one, it doesn't go to the other.
Yeah.
I just recently learned this. At Kashada they do it. At Treasure Chest they do it. At Resorts World they do it.
So the slot attendant does not get the tip that you give them. It goes into a bucket. And they all split at the end of the night.
Except there's two separate buckets.
Yeah, one for security.
One for security that has to come up and make sure they're giving you the right amount of money.
Yeah.
There's always two people at a payout.
Yeah.
So that if you drop it on the person that has the clipboard in their hand, they're the one that's going to get the tip. The other person is tipless.
So if you're planning on tipping $20 for your hand pay, you might want to get 2 10s, one for the slot attendant, one for the security.
And ask them
if you care.
Yeah. Do y'all and don't ever be afraid to ask a person that you're giving money to, how do you split this? People are nervous. I don't want to ask them that. That's gauche. No, it's not. It's not. Hey, do y'all split the tip? Or do you keep it, or does he keep it? Because I just recently found out. And I ended up costing me $200.
Now, if you never had a hand pay, there's always two people. So that's something that you're learning right now. There's a slot attendant. And
that comes up first and takes all your information, and then they have to come back with what they call a verifier.
Yes, like security is verification of the hand pay. And so you do have to want to make sure that you kind of ask them to break up something. But for me, it's $20 for 12 through 1600, 1600 through 2000. I'll do 40, 2000 through 2500, maybe 50 to 60 or so. But I have tipped at $100 on a $3,000 hand pay before.
I tip on 100 anything over probably 4,000 or 5,000, which is rare anyway.
I mean, it's a nice size tip. Don't get me wrong.
And if they're one of our locals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's people out there that don't tip.
There's people out there that don't tip. And hey, that's up to you.
So for my budget of tipping,
are you a tipper or a non-tipper when it comes to?
Y'all know how many hand pays I get, so my budget's roughly $40. I've had 14 hand pays this year, or 16.
Yeah, so you've spent some money.
So I've actually tipped, but for one visit, I'm lucky if I get one hand pay.
Yep.
But typically,
I'm lucky if you
don't have to budget that into your trip though, because that comes out of your hand pay money.
Still money you're paying. It's
True.
Still money you're paying.
But yeah, I'm keeping tab.
Fancy restaurants.
Well, we just did that.
We did fancy restaurants?
Yeah, food and dining. We just talked about it.
We did buffet, food and dining. Can we touch on fancy restaurants? Why Vegas, and if you're out there, Vegas, and if you're a restaurant manager, why do we have to scream over the music when we're having $1 million meal?
They got to turn that down.
You can't hear I could remember I was talking to you. There was no way I could hear Diana. There was 3 other people. We were all. It's bad enough we're using our camera to read the menu.
All you're doing is going,
and then we're going.
That's all you're doing is laughing at each other because you have no idea what went. Yeah,
The last place we ate at Resorts World was so loud that
it's a steakhouse.
I couldn't be in there for more than 5 minutes. And trust me, I'm a speaker boy. I stood next to the speakers in the 80s doing the nightclub.
Rattling.
Yeah, and I loved it. That's probably why I'm deaf now. But what's the deal with the music?
It's too loud. I mean,
it's too loud.
It's a restaurant setting. You should be able to have casual conversation.
They don't want us to talk about our losses. They turn the music up. I've determined that we all sit there and we bitch about how much money we've lost, and that one person brags, Diana, I won this, I won that. But I swear that's what it is. So I just want to know from you restaurant managers out there.
Turn it down.
Turn it down.
Turn it down. And I'm still young, so for me,
we ate at
I'm
some
older than I look.
Taco place. I think at the Wynn, that was a Mexican restaurant. I got 2 tacos for $180, and I couldn't even hear myself think.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Was that Sinatra? I think I don't know. Was it Sinatra?
It was a Mexican restaurant. Was it Sinatra?
I don't know. Y'all know what it is. We went to Sinatra though.
And when you're talking about comps, and that's another thing. When you're in a group, we often eat with groups of people in Vegas. Mm-hmm. You be thoughtful of the people who may not have comps or may not have the money to go to those restaurants. So ask them, hey, do you feel you want to go someplace that's a little less expensive? Do you have comps for this restaurant? Because a lot of people can't budget $200 or $300 for every meal, and if it's a couple, it's $300 immediately.
Yeah. If you're going to invite me somewhere fancy, comp me, boo.
Well, or ask, hey, do you have comps to cover this? If not, I'm inviting you. I'll use my comps.
Sure. Use up all your comps. I mean, gosh.
Yeah,
that's what they're there for.
Don't leave any comps on the table. But some people don't have those comps, and I have a hard time paying real money for food. It's just I come from a background of, grandparents were chefs, and I can make any fancy food for under $5. I mean, you know me, I can make anything.
Yeah, especially Italian food's really cheap.
So I just when I have to spend $90 for a chicken breast and a bowl of pasta, I just go, even if it's comps. So
chicken breast. That was a half chicken. So what's our next thing on the tipping, though? If we're talking, we've already talked about restaurants.
So now we're checking out of the hotel. And we're talking about room attendants.
Oh, okay. Well, typically.
So I tip $5 a day, $5 to $10. If it's a big suite, it's going to be $10 for me a day. You always want to leave the tip on the bed because that lets them know that tip is for them. A lot of people don't know that. Now, when you leave, it doesn't matter because you've checked out. But if you're just there and you leave a $10 on the desk, they don't know if that's money that you have or if that's money for them. So if you leave the money on the bed where they have to make the bed, then I usually do $5 or $10 a day depending on the situation. When I check out, I always do $20 unless they've just been great.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy that pulls the sheets, that puts all the trash together,
puts all the towels in the tub.
Yeah,
you do a little bit more than anybody else would
because
you're mindful.
Well, I've cleaned a few rooms in my life, trust me. And sometimes they have 6 to 14 rooms apiece, and if you're just pulling the sheets, you're saving them
some time.
And also some of the people are older and they just have a little rougher time. So if I can do it, as long as I can do it, I'm thankful to do it.
You're a nice person, Joseph.
Yeah. I try to be. Because I've been in that industry, and if you've been in the industry, you know. So I'm an over tipper. I always tip. If I go someplace and my food is $15, I'm giving them $10. If my food is $10, I'm usually giving $10. I always over tip because I know most people
And you
don't.
generally tip in advance. That's one thing I've learned about you. You usually tip in advance. Not for restaurants. You tip at the end when you get the bill, but sometimes you'll tip up front and hope to get good service, and sometimes it backfires. Yep. So I agree. I think I would think a budget of $20 for your room attendant for the whole for a 4-day trip.
Who did we leave out, and what do you think about our opinions on tipping? Do you think we're tipping too much? Do you think we're not tipping enough? Is there someone we should be tipping that we aren't tipping? Because I will tell you, I tip the people that are cleaning the machines because
EMV, right? Isn't that what they're called? EMV team?
I don't know.
I think it's EMV. I could be wrong, but yes, that's what I was just saying.
Because I don't drink, I always slip them $5 or $10 because I just like them, and I think they're doing a great job. And I think they're the invisible staff in the casino that no one,
But that's an occasional tip. That's not something that I budget in. But every now and then, I'll see someone working really hard, or they're just really awesome. Like this one time, back in October, I was playing Dragon Link, and I had this amazing run in this. I'm going to say EMV. I could be wrong with the title, but he was rooting for me. He said, "Man, you're going to win. You're going to get a jackpot. I know you're going to get a jackpot."
And you won a jackpot.
5 minutes later, I got the major jackpot, and he's like, "I told you." And so I gave him a little something on. When I stopped filming, but yeah, so that's something that's another only other thing I could think of.
And I know this isn't a big hot topic like we had last week, but not everything's going to be a hot topic. We have a lot of people that come up to us and say, "Hey, how do you know how much to tip on a Handpay? Hey, how much do you tip here?" We travel a lot, so we understand it.
And this is like my budgets. Like this is what works for us, but. Have we completed all of our tipping situations?
We have completed, but before you read out the total of what you think you spend in a good 3-day trip, if service is great, don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to go to Yelp. Don't forget to tell your casino host, hey, this person did a great job. I hadn't forgotten about it. I was getting there. I was getting a casino host, and that's another whole thing in a minute. But the people on the floor, don't be afraid to write a comment. If you're going to write a comment with all the negativity, don't be afraid to write a comment about the good stuff. I'm one of the biggest contributors on Yelp, and a lot of people don't know that about me.
He's a Yelper.
But I will Yelp the greatest all the way down to the bottom, because I don't want people coming to there thinking they're going to get an experience and they don't, and maybe it's different for them. But make sure you make sure you get that person's name, and hey, so and so really helped me and they were a great help. We've seen a lot of people, especially at our local Caesars, get promoted because we've written letters to saying, hey, why isn't this guy promoted? He should be running this place. And we've seen some bathroom attendants get promoted to on up because they do an amazing job.
And slot attendant, and specifically one.
Their bosses aren't standing there watching them. They don't know. So you have to tell them, okay, let's talk about the host, because that was going to be my last thing.
Yes, I totally forgot. I don't know how I forgot that one, because that's the biggest tip that we usually leave. So typically we will tip our host $100. Yeah, per person. So you'll tip together $200.
A couple of hundred, yeah. Unless it's a winning trip, and then we give them more.
Yeah.
We also often bring our hosts gifts from where we're coming from, which is New Orleans. A lot of them want food items or coffee or beignet boxes of beignet mix or.
But you can't tip them. You can't just give them money.
Yeah. So
that's like the proper way to do it is not to give it to them directly, or
give it to them in a nice card saying thank you, or palm it to them.
It was so good to see you.
Yeah.
Please comp everything that I charged to the room.
Yeah, please comp everything I charged to the room.
Like one of our hosts, I don't know if I should.
Don't say the name.
Yeah, I won't blast them out, but they're great. They know who they are. Will treat us to concerts or a really nice meal. Or there will, always be a bottle of champagne and
don't get it twisted.
Strawberries.
That's also based on how much money we're putting into her casino.
Yeah, based on your previous play and what they expect you to play. So it's all based on that. They're not just doing it because they like you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when certain circumstances come around, like they are doing a little bit more than you expect. And
take care of your host.
Yeah, take care.
And have that money put aside before your trip, because you may be down to that last $100 and you're thinking host or me winning a jackpot, and I guarantee you're going to give it to the jackpot and the host is going to lose out. So give it to him when you arrive.
Give it to the jackpot.
No, give it to the
like
host.
The jackpot that did not come to fruition.
Yeah. So make sure you put aside the tip money so that you have enough tip money to get through your trip. Play within your means. Have a good time. You can walk out of the casino and go see the sights. You don't have to sit there playing this all the time.
And you know what? I'm going to say this because you asked the audience what other things that we forgot about. But everything we discussed really is interior to a casino resort.
It is.
So that's just... Do you want me to tell how much I've come up to?
I think we're about dead on.
I mean, I have $505.
It's about what we spent in about 3 days. That's about what we spent
just for tips.
Just for tips.
Yeah.
Now,
and that's just within the casino resort.
And that's with us getting just about 99% of all that comped. I would say, because we play a lot, most of what we're getting is comped. So think if you had to pay for all that on top of it. It's a lot of money to go to Vegas these days.
Yeah.
And
again, this is just tips.
Yeah.
This doesn't factor in your gameplay. It doesn't factor in, going to a show, going, I don't know, out to the strip, just whatever.
Because I guarantee you one thing, you're not getting comp drinks at those shows. They're making you pay for those. You got to pay for them. That's why you go up to the bar. So, yeah. So,
and if you don't have a free hotel room.
So that's what we're going to talk about in a couple weeks is it worth going to Vegas, or is it better just going to your local? Is it worth going to Vegas to play? I should rephrase that. Not to go to Vegas and, walk from one end to another and do all the shopping and all that stuff. Not for the Vegas experience, but if you're just a diehard gambler, is it worth getting on a plane, getting to Vegas, spending this much money in tips, having to pay money out of your own pocket for certain things? Or is it better just going to your local and spending the night there and having an experience? What's your opinion on that? Because I know coming up, we're going to talk about the price of Vegas. Vegas is going up. They're charging you for everything now. And I mean everything. I mean, you walk in the door in Vegas and they're like, hello, where's my $100?
Give me my money.
Give me my money. It didn't used to be that way. A lot of influencers right now on TikTok are doing what they call cheap eats in Vegas because you can't find a breakfast for under $30 in Vegas anymore.
Oh, I'm sure there's some viewers that know exactly where to go.
You can get oatmeal for $6 at one little restaurant.
Who wants oatmeal in the morning?
So this was our conversation on tipping. I know it wasn't a big hot topic, but a lot of you have asked us to chime in about tipping.
I learned,
and
when you see it on paper, you're
it's
like,
more than you think. Yeah. I always bring like a wad of 5s and 1s whenever I go to Vegas, and then my dumbass is like, they have change machines there. I could have probably just
broken it when you got. Hey, it's always good to have 5s and 1s on you.
But yeah, you always want to make sure you have 5s and 1s.
Don't be giving nobody no quarters.
So I want to thank everyone for coming into our second Tuesday Slot Talk with Joseph. Next week, we're going to have hopefully a guest. And hopefully it's going to be someone you love, because I'm waiting to hear.
Because I'm sure my cameos are coming to an end.
We're sick of looking at him. I won't tell you what next week is about. It's going to be one of two. But it's either
okay.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what.
Don't.
No, I'm not going to. Y'all come back. Y'all come back and find out.
You hear? You come
but
back.
We want to know your thoughts on tipping. We want to know what we missed. Are we over tipping? Are we under tipping? Tell us what we missed and tell us how you feel about tipping flight attendants, because that's the new big thing. I mean, when you get on the flight and they got their hand out like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I never even tipped them when they gave me a free drink.
I know you're not supposed to tip for that. You're not supposed to tip money. You're supposed to whip out a card that you have.
I give them a Slotaholic wristband. Watch me on YouTube.
An old trick that a lot of people used to use on a flight. This doesn't have to do with tipping, but so a lot of times in the air they can't charge your credit card when you buy that drink or when you order Wi-Fi. So a lot of people lately, it's just terrible. I shouldn't tell you this. They've been using gift cards that have no money left on them.
Oh, that is hateful.
So when you get off the flight, they're tricky.
They're running some.
Same people are doing the same things with. With free when they give you like a 7-day trial somewhere.
Okay.
So it at least has a couple pennies on it for them to charge you a penny so they know it works. And at the end of the trial, hey, you ain't got to worry about it because there's no money left on that card for you to charge. But yeah, people are really getting tricky. So thank you guys for joining us again today. Make sure you comment. Y'all commented like crazy last week and we loved it. It was very engaging.
Lots of comments. That's awesome.
And in a couple weeks, we're going to actually go back and talk about people at the casino again and all the things that we didn't comment on that you guys wanted us to comment on. And it's going to be great. So thank you again for watching. Remember, you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. And stay tuned tomorrow for one of our fabulous new videos that you're going to love. I'm hoping it's going to be a Handpay video.
I hope it's going to be you. Hope it's going to be a video of you.
Hope it's going to be a video of a Handpay. Y'all stay tuned. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.